2 New York strips here, and we had gotten this from Aldi's, and we're getting ready to do a quote-unquote sous vide technique. It's not really a sous vide because we don't have the equipment for it, but it is our version, and it is so easy to do at home. It's going to give you super tender beef at home. So, like I said, starting off with our meat on our plate, just so that we can get it nice and seasoned before we put it in our Ziploc bag, any sort of plastic that you can put into a water bath. We have our water here, and we actually have a thermometer that goes inside the water, and it's going to be recording the whole time so that we know exactly what the temperature is. Because the point of sous vide is so that we can get the water at a certain temperature that is slowly cooking the meat that we want, or any ingredient that you really want to cook. And this process is what helps our meat protein break down slowly, which ends in a very tender and juicy and delicious piece of meat at the end. And to finish it off, after this is done in the water bath, we will be searing it off to create the crust that we want. Here we go. We are seasoning the steak with ground black pepper and salt. Make sure you season liberally and on both sides of the steak so that it is well flavored all around. Adding salt and pepper from a high distance helps to evenly distribute the seasoning over your ingredients too. It is a good practice to have. This next step is very important in the sous vide process. Whatever bag you are using, you want to fold down the top to avoid any juice or contamination of the edges. What this does is helps you get a clean seal. Place your meat in the bag. No matter what ingredient you are using, make sure that they are lying flat and are not stacked on top of each other. Seal the bag 3/4 of the way. Take the bag to the water and gently lay it down. What happens is that the water helps push out the air by creating a vacuum. Once the bag is 80% in the water, you seal the rest of the way. This creates a decent airtight bag and allows the water to cook the meat more evenly. And also, our thermometer will be recording the temperature of the water to make sure it does not go above 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we set the timer and let the cooking process begin.
2 hours later.
Now, on a separate burner, we are setting up our frying pan and turn the heat to high. The lid helps the pan heat up fast. The meat has been in the water for approximately 2 hours. The water has been sitting at a steady 114 degrees Fahrenheit. As we take the meat out of the water and bag, you can see how juicy and delicious it already is. In the hot pan, add oil. We used vegetable oil, but any high heat oil is fine. Add enough that it coats the bottom of the pan when you swirl it. Add the steak one by one. Ideally, we would cook this separately, but we were hungry, so time was of the essence. Just make sure your pan and oil are really hot so that a good sear happens and it won't let it stew. Remember to work clean. You know when you are searing well, when the hot oil is constantly creating the bubbles and sizzling sound. Cook on one side for approximately 1.5 minutes or until a nice brown sear has formed. Then you can start rotating on its sides to sear all over. Look at that balancing skill. The point of the sear is to create the beautiful meat flavor that we associate with steaks. It impacts the outer layer of the meat while keeping the insides of the steak juicy and tender. And because we use the sous vide method, we don't have to worry about cooking the meat too long and potentially burning the outside, since the inside is already at the rare temperature we like. Side note, if you like your meat cooked more, all you have to do is make sure your water temperature goes to the internal temperature you want. For medium steaks, it is 135 degrees Fahrenheit, medium well is 140 degrees, and well done is 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Continue to sear the meat on all sides, making sure you get every surface. Then, place the meat on a plate to let it rest. Now you can watch me awkwardly eat my dinner as it was almost 10 p.m. at night and I was very hungry. We were ready. Thank you everyone for watching till now. If you're still tuned in. Oh yeah, look at that steak. We like it rare. Let's just say that. I hope you learned a little something about sous vide and cooking steaks today. And if you try it at home and you do a good job too, please let me know how it turned out. Thanks everybody. See you later.